What happened?
All the preparation that happens for this show, and I forgot to move my stream deck over to the streaming platform instead of editing. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Welcome to the Gig Economy Podcast, episode 100, and I don't know because I was, it's like I'd rather go in it not prepared because I think I would be more ready than if I had all this time. Episode 176.
I actually thought it was intentionally because I always speak over you and you always get mad. So I thought you intentionally did the break. Waiting for me to speak over you.
No, I didn't. So thanks. Yeah, I'm not going to blame anything except I'm an idiot. Jesper, where can these people go to find more information about this show?
I got to talk about my nice office though. Huh? It looks really nice to have behind my bag tonight. Wow, nice.
Yeah.
Go to geekeconomyshow.com to look and see all the cool stuff about the show.
Yep.
Is that what I mean?
You can get everything there for news. You can download the show there. You can reach out to us there. Everything at geekeconomyshow.com. That's how you do a promo, Jesper. I'd like to thank our Patreon members, Larry, Samson, Steve, Bud, Omar, Delivery Cats, Jamie, Frank, Joe, Nate, John, Tom. Thank you guys so much for doing that. Jesper, how can they become a Patreon member? Let's see if you can redeem yourself.
They go to patreon.com/GeekCon podcast, and then they can sign up and help support the show. There's 2 levels. Actually, there's 3. There's also a free level.
Yep.
And the free is free for 2 weeks, I believe, right?
Nope. You become a free member as long as you want. If you want to try the Patreon, you can sign up for either tier and you get a 7-day free trial. After that, it will charge your card. So if you do not like it, make sure you quit before the 7 days expires. But yes, you can get on there for free and be a free member as long as you want. You're not going to get much content. I'll be honest with you. I might drop something here and there off, but there are 2 tiers, the $5 tier and the $10 tier, and it helps support us to keep us going and pay for all our bills.
And at the $10 tier, you do get merch.
You do get merch, yes. At the third month, you get a merch. Yeah.
Yep.
So we don't use any of this money to spend anything. We pay the bills with it. Maybe we'll buy a 6-pack every once in a while, but we appreciate that.
It's pretty expensive to keep this show running, so thank you guys for your support.
If you want to connect with us and other gig workers, go to your app store and download the Telegram app, and the link in the description. You can connect with us and other gig workers around the country. A little slow during the week, but on the weekends it does get busy. So yeah, I would love for you to do that.
Has that been more active right now with all the snow going on right now? Do you know?
Not really. Speaking of the snow, most of the snow stuff, it used to be back in the day, as you remember, when it would snow a lot or storm, there would be a lot of surge amounts and, it would just be great. I didn't see any positive about people making bank.
That's so crazy. I still remember back in the days when I was, it must have been the first or the second year I was Ubering in my black Master 3 hatchback. And there was one Friday night, there was nobody else, and I was just making bank that night.
Yeah.
And I didn't have very many rides, and I think probably at one point, I think I had 5 or 6 lined up.
Yeah.
Just
in the queue.
In queue.
Yeah.
Which never happened.
Right.
Never. And I made, I don't know, that night I just made bank. I don't remember how much I did, but I made so much bank. It was crazy.
I'm sure people maybe got tipped well, but as far as the companies creating the surge or whatever, that just isn't there anymore. It's just kind of not a thing. And I remember you, Jesper, you didn't care about the weather. You'd be like, I don't give a shit. I'm going out and driving it. I'm like, I don't like driving in that stuff. I'm not afraid to drive in it, but it's just to me, it's too much risk.
At the time, I had really good all round all year tires, and I just drove nice. I mean, drove according to the conditions, and yeah,
which is shocking because you are kind of have a lead foot.
Over the years, I think I've developed a condition called lead foot. Yes. But I do remember making bank that winter.
Yeah, for sure.
That's Friday.
Yeah, I mean, those are the good old days for sure, right? All right, gig economy in the news. So basically, in this story, Lyft announced a plan to give the Twin City drivers a minimum fare. Lyft drivers will now receive at least $5 for rides in the Twin City. They have to begin or end in the Twin City. Lyft also announced it will partner with Minnesota Uber and Lyft Drivers Association to provide support services to the region's diverse driver population, including the Eastern African community. First of all, $5 for rides that be like a minimum $5. Like, that's amazing.
Right.
Don't you think? I mean, all those, what was our base thing? It was like $360.
$260, I think, is the
No, it
base.
was $3, wasn't it?
No. And Uber X is $260. Pay.
Damn, I thought it was $3.
Oh.
So $5. I mean, that's a great start. They also talked about the mayor secured a commitment from Uber to pay drivers at least the Minneapolis minimum wage for fares that actively transport a passenger within the Minneapolis city limits. They confirmed that drivers in Minneapolis would make at least $15.19 per hour. Weirdly, though, it says in response to Lyft's decision on Tuesday, Uber said it had a $5 minimum pay for drivers in the Twin Cities since last summer, but no one really talked about that.
So, I mean, I know we keep going back about this, right? We've talked about it 100 times.
Yeah.
But I can't help but think that it is the driver's own responsibility to drive when you make that. I mean, there's no way I would drive if I didn't make at least $16 an hour. No way. Go home.
$60?
16.
Okay, well, in Minneapolis, the minimum wage is 15, so you're almost
there.
No,
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Same with you. If you don't make $16 an hour, go home, right? I mean,
yeah.
Why would you drive?
I don't even know. I mean, honestly, 16 an hour is pretty easy to get. That's a pretty slow day.
That's my point. Is if you're not making $16 an hour, you shouldn't be driving.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I drove regularly, if I didn't make $25-$30 an hour, I would go home.
Right.
It wasn't worth my time.
I actually, for me, if I'm just busy, if I'm just getting ride to ride, I don't really look at the hourly. If I'm out to work 6 hours, if I'm back to back, then great. I'm back to back. I'm not going to worry about it. But I just think it's a good step to getting these fares up. I just wish it wasn't with the government involved. I just think Uber should just do that across the board, but we know that's probably not going to happen. But yeah, I think it's a good step. I like that they have protection in that area for, just like we've talked about. I don't want the government involved, but I think we do need a little bit of protection of like false deactivations and those kind of things. So,
but how do we get all that if we don't get the government involved, I guess? Because I agree with you. I don't want the government involved.
I mean,
how do we?
Well, you can get them involved. It's just people are so focused on the money thing. Like, we want benefits, we want sick time, we want all this stuff, that I think that, that part comes with everything else. I don't know how beneficial it would be, or how much support you would have from drivers if you just walked into the, the government. I'm saying that in quotes just because, like, right. I don't know where you would go. I'm not really smart when it comes to this stuff, but go in there and say, oh, we just want these rights. The government's probably like, I don't know, because they need some money from whatever changes are going to happen too. You know what I mean? You got to know that there's some sort of trickle down from all of this.
I mean, we all know the only other way that it would happen would be unionized, right?
Yeah.
If we don't all just get together and say, just stop using the platform.
That's the problem. I love all the strikes that are happening. I'm not against them. I just don't think they're really going to work in these small little pockets of cities. And it will never happen where we will all get together. Unfortunately, these apps, I think, have created desperate people, or not desperate people, but put people in positions that they have to work or they're not going to survive.
That's the problem right there. They've created situations where people absolutely have to work.
Yeah.
So they don't have a choice.
Like, one day would put them way behind. Right. You know what I mean? I say, it's possible. Go download all the other apps. Go do food delivery, not on Uber, but on DoorDash or whatever, and then just don't drive for a couple of days. I mean, it could work, but it's hard enough to get people together to do anything. You know what I mean?
It definitely is, and the problem is there's always going to be enough. We know this with both Uber and Lyft. The problem is there's such a big change in drivers that there's always going to be another driver signing up for it. That
Yeah.
it's just not enough.
Right.
I mean, they get to set the rules. End of story.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about
unless the government steps in.
Yeah, exactly. But then again, things change.
On that note, let's talk about a possibility of the government stepping in and doing this, the declassification of 1099, which in this case here, this is a story from January 9th, where Uber and Lyft say that the drivers won't be affected by the new federal rule on worker classification standards. And I think that they're right, because there's still, again, that I don't even know. I kind of skimmed the article because I gotta say I got bored halfway through it because it's so.
I mean, it's
boring,
from Market
article.
Watch, so.
But right, it's from Market Watch. But from what I could tell, they really didn't change the rules that much. But basically, the rule will take effect March 11th, directs employers to consider 6 criteria for determining whether a worker is an employee or a contractor, without predetermining whether one outweighs the other. That's a change from Trump-era rule, which prioritized 2 criteria: how much control a company has over its workers and how much entrepreneurial opportunity the work provides. So I guess they go from 2 to 6, but essentially it's still kind of, yeah, it's up to the company to determine whether they are an entrepreneur or whatever, and they're still pretty open to classify them that way.
Yeah,
I still don't think that the 1099 classification is not the way to go about it. It's just that we gotta stop looking at it that way. We gotta come up with a brand new way of doing it if we want to do something somehow this way. I don't know.
Well, honestly, I feel bad for all the other 1099 workers currently, because this gig companies come in, because 1099 was working just fine until gig work came in, and now everyone, you got so many more people driving who are classified as 1099 but aren't truly independent contractors, and they totally just kind of fucked them. Honestly, I feel bad for the local drywaller and stuff like that. But
I mean, the biggest I've always learned that the biggest thing about an individual contractor is that all your job can't come from the same boss.
Yeah.
I mean,
and it kind of is if you just drive for Uber.
Right. And you have to be able to set your own rate. Those are kind of the 2 big ones.
Yeah, and we can't do that.
Right.
Unless you're in India, which we talked about on last episode. All right, if you want to know more, if you want to get down and dirty with all these rules and stuff, check out Rideshare Rodeo, his podcast. Man, he dives deep in that. You just go to ridesharerodeo.com. He's got a lot of information on that.
Gotta say, Steve is definitely the man to follow when it comes to that.
Yeah, don't come to us for it, because we're an infotainment podcast. I mean, we're going to talk about.
We get bored about that stuff.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a bad tipper next. So, yeah, don't go to us. Go to Steve. All right. So this is a bad tipper video. This is not gig related, but I mean, it's tipping. So it ends up being a pizza place. I think it's Domino's. So it's not a gig, but it's still something to talk about. We'll play that. It's about 1:05, and then we'll come back.
Hey, thanks a ton.
Yeah, whatever. For a shitty $2 tip. You know what? I should have had you guys come to the fucking store.
Yeah, good thing I got this on film. Good job losing your job. Domino's driver right here pissed about 20% tip, and he's pissed.
In this weather?
20% went straight to Domino's. A delivery person show up and start cursing us out because we gave them a 20% tip instead of more. And since when is a 20% tip not good?
I don't know. He's always complaining about tips.
Okay.
He's already had a couple write-ups, so he's probably either going to get fired or...
I need to worry about my food being spat in or something.
Oh, fuck off.
No, not at all.
I'll see if it's worth my time to do any of that, but I just want to make sure you guys know. That's all right. Thanks. All right, see ya.
Now, he is, I don't know if this is on, it's TikTok. He is getting eaten alive in the comments because, 20% tip is great. Did you see the fucking weather? A $2 tip in that weather? People are just going in on him.
Well, okay, so here's my one thing. What I first see is here 20%. So there's 2 boxes there. There's 2 boxes.
Okay.
Right? Which means there's pizza and there's breadsticks, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's pizza and there's wings. There's no way that was only $10, which means he based his tip off after a discount.
Maybe.
He shouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Your tip should always be based off before discount.
Yes, for sure.
Right? So there's no way a $2 tip is that's not 20%.
Oh, so
there's no way.
So you're saying that the food price was a lot more?
It must have been.
Yeah.
There's 2 boxes.
Yeah. I mean, it is Domino's. Maybe there was some coupons or something.
Well, absolutely. But all I'm saying is I don't think he was telling the full story.
Yeah. Well, either way, going back to it, even a 20% tip, let's say it's even $5 he gets. I think that's too low. I told my wife, what did she need? Oh, during the storm, she needed tampons. And I said, let's just DoorDash it. I'll give him $20. It's a mile from the store. We don't have to drive. See, that would be an appropriate tip for a winter driving. I mean, that would be way more than 20% for 1 box of that. But I just think I think that homeowner is kind of a dick.
He was a dick. But no, I mean, but in any situation though, no matter what, 20% is not a bad tip. If you look at it as 20% by itself isolated. But you're right. You got to take the storm into the consideration. Yeah. You got to take, as I said, there's no way it was 20% of the food price. There's no way.
No. Mark says, why does it have to be percent of the order amount? Yeah. When I go to a regular restaurant, like a sit-down restaurant, I typically do 20%. Unless the service is great. Then I go higher. But yeah, when it's outside and someone's driving, like, you kind of got to look at the totality of what is going on. If it's a beautiful sunny day, even so, like, if it's such a low order amount, I still would at least do $5,
right,
instead of $2. But the guy shouldn't have. I mean, the guy probably is going to get fired. No, he won't. People are desperate for workers. He won't get fired. But the guy shouldn't have said anything. You know, he should have just went on. But yeah, I think that's a shitty tip.
The problem is he can't say no to it, right? Because he's a Domino's worker.
Yeah,
he got to do it no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. He's kind of on the hook to do it regardless of it. So,
but he shouldn't have made any comments about it.
No, absolutely not.
I mean, that's, but I also do think that the homeowner was a dick about it. There's no doubt.
He's recording himself in his house, like, hey, dumb.
I think he was trying to create a situation.
I think he was too, because he had his Ring camera recording, and then he had his phone already in his hand. So it's like, I don't know. He seemed nice though when he started, so maybe he thought, maybe he got a text from the guy. I don't know. Maybe, who knows? But he seemed nice at the beginning, but then definitely turned real quick.
But I mean, let's talk about that. The $2 in the snowstorm. I mean, there's no way that's enough.
Yeah. I feel bad for him though, you're right, being a Domino's worker.
He was trying to impress a girl. That wasn't very impressive, Wade. There's no way. I mean, I hope that girl order an Uber to go pick her up and paid the Uber $10 to drive.
No, he was probably oppressing a girl in his house. I think that's what he's saying.
No, I know, but I hope the girl left.
Nah, she probably likes assholes. There's women out there that like assholes. She's probably like, ooh, look at him talk down to the service worker. But
on that note though, have you started teaching your kids how to tip? And that whole structure?
Yeah, we have a healthy respect. I always tell Avery, I'm like, because I think she's ordered food service a couple times, and I know her friend does all the time. Like, make sure you tip well. Like, it doesn't have to be insane, but just be respectful about it. Like 20%. And I know you guys have limited funds, and then I just say if you don't have enough to tip respectfully, then you shouldn't order.
Correct.
So, all right, moving on. I forgot what this is about.
I want to mention one more thing real quick. Remember, you and I had a discussion about whether or not you should actually tip when you go just pick up like Chinese or whatever.
God, let's not start this.
No, but I actually started not doing that.
You
I
did?
used to always do it.
Oh,
and I have not been doing it.
Do you remember I browbeat you so bad on that?
Absolutely
episode?
no. But I want you to know that the last couple of times I have gotten and picked up my own food and everything, I have stopped tipping because it's not
they should get a fair wage. They're not using their own car. They have no expenses. They just are there working. It's so funny. The other night Megan ordered pizza and she's like, "Do I tip here?" On the app, I was like, no, you don't tip. They're not doing. I mean, you can if you want. I'm not mad at you if you do. I mean, as much as I gave Jesper a hard time, but I mean that it does exploit the tipping culture of if we're tipping everybody, it's just gonna affect us, right? Because people are gonna get sick of tipping.
Right.
It's like basically if you're using your own vehicle, you deserve a tip. If you're not using your own vehicle and you just want a tip, I guess it's okay. But like, I'm proud of you.
And then the other side of the tipping is if you're in a restaurant and somebody, gave you your food, brought you your food, and attended to your needs while you're at the table, then you tip them.
Ooh, that's a good question. That's actually not. Because there's no expenses there. I think the only reason there is they get paid $2.50 an hour. That's why you tip.
Yeah, but they are attending to your needs. They are serving you.
So is the barista.
True.
Maybe not the same level as a server because they're coming back a couple of times. But again, I said it's based on if you use your own vehicle, your own that. Right. Servers don't do that. I think that's just because they only make $2.50 an hour. Which I think servers should make a regular wage too. Like it should be a livable wage.
Here's the thing too. Only America is where servers are not making a livable wage.
Yeah. Right.
Every other country in the world, servers are making real job wage.
Yeah. Mark says, what about Domino's drivers that aren't driving their personal vehicles? Some all Domino. Yeah. That's a good question.
But the same thing though, are they getting paid an hourly rate that makes sense?
Well, I know I mentioned this before. I worked for Jets for many years. They would pay me minimum wage, which was like, I don't know, 7 and some change. And I got to keep the tips. But a couple of years later, when you go out on a delivery, you make $2.50 an hour. When you come back in the store and you're like folding boxes, you make minimum wage. So, yeah, that is interesting. If Domino's does have all their own cars.
It's interesting though, yeah. So, anyways,
who cares?
Big discussion. How far did we get?
What are we? We're
bring up this interesting trip because that actually is it's speaking of minimum wage. This is I was thinking about this trip. Would we take it or not?
No, this isn't why I took the picture. Look at the picture. Tell me something that you see on there that's different.
Well, it's a duration 25 minutes. It's a 15-mile ride.
Mm-hmm.
Fare is $17.
What's the next one?
Upfront fare is there's a taxes on it.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Interesting. I have to pay taxes on it.
When do they? This is in Detroit too. What is this tax line? When do they start taking taxes out?
And don't pay I don't want to pay taxes.
I know. I don't know.
I did not even see that. What's up with that? I'm not paying taxes.
I know. The ride's horseshit too, but like, why are they taking taxes out? I never saw any
horseshit.
I never saw any follow-up from this. Again, we're the worst at following up, but like, that seems odd that little glitch there, but.
So, I mean, is the ride horseshit though? It's $17 for half an hour.
I mean, it's over $1 a mile. I mean, take the tax part out of it. If you're getting,
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm not paying taxes.
yeah. No, hey, Jason does not condone Jesper's statement that he's not paying taxes. I do not condone that. No, I mean, it's not a bad ride.
I'm an immigrant. I don't have to pay taxes.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to get your green card revoked. No, I think it's a good ride. I mean, it's over $1 a mile. So, no, it's funny.
It's not a horrible ride. Yeah.
It's funny you didn't see that. Yeah, that's the whole reason I wanted to talk about it.
I did not. I thought it was one of those rides. To me, when I see that, it's like, yeah, I might take it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This story is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
So the title of the article is and I've seen it a lot. People post about a driver made over $110,000 from Uber and Lyft in 2022, but took home only $14K. After 6 years on the job, he's working toward a new career. Good clickbait, Business Insider. Good clickbait, because I've seen this everywhere. So Michael, a ride-hailing driver in his late 30s, made more than 110 gross, blah, blah, blah. We just said that. But after commissions paid to the ride-hailing companies, taxes, and other expenses, he ended up with net earnings of $14,000. I mean, right off the bat, I'm calling bullshit, right?
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I didn't know you were drinking. I have the article up. Yeah, it's complete crap. So he says, at the end of the year, we incur every single cost from wear and tear, mechanical, cell phones, oil changes, which is our biggest expense. We're now getting less pay. I mean,
do you remember back when I did the calculation on after I had done my first trip to Chicago, and I used Google's calculator to determine whether or not it was worth it for me to drive to Chicago and back?
Does Google has an expense calculator?
Well, it kind of they have a wear and tear calculator. On the car,
okay.
Right. And so I kind of did that. And according to them, it's absolutely not worth it, right?
Yeah.
Because I made like $2.50 an hour.
Oh, geez.
Because I'm sure that's exactly what this was. It's like,
so you think they're doing that, and that's how they're getting these numbers?
Oh yeah, the wear and tear is just horrific.
I mean, I'm sure it depends on each car, but I just don't think how you make $100,000 and you clear 14, like that doesn't make any sense to me. But so he drove full time. He got in a bunch of car accidents. I'm just gonna skip through that. He's not a great driver, clearly.
Maybe he had to get the car fixed a couple times.
Yeah, if you're counting that as expenses, that is not kind of. I mean, that's an act of God. Like,
maybe you should not be a driver in the first place.
Maybe you should try another career. That's why he's going to school and having Uber pay for it. So he says, living on a little, screenshot shared with Business Insider, so he received only $167 from a ride, which a passenger paid $350. Another ride that cost a passenger almost $500 gave him only about $220. And sometimes
we know that.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why they had to put that in there, and sometimes he offered rides where he needs to drive 10 to 20 miles to pick up a customer, only for them to travel a mile too. Well, you don't have to take those.
Right. Well, and then as Bud Soda here, he says you get to ride up all those miles too.
Yeah, that's.
And I wonder.
Sorry, I interrupted you. I feel.
But I wonder if they take off the write off into consideration. They don't. See, when I worked full time and I drove almost full time too, my there was one year I made, I don't know, I drove, I want to say my taxable income. My taxable income on Uber was $20,000, something like that, 1 year. It was crazy.
Part time.
But, huh?
Doing it part time.
I know, it was a lot of money, right? But because I drove so many miles, it actually affected my day job. So my tax burden, I'm more than made up for the $20,000, and then it affected my tax burden for my day job went down too.
Yeah.
So it was like,
I think one thing we have to remember when you're a part-time worker, the tax write-off is so awesome. It's almost like you working and you're not paying any taxes. Now, if you're driving full-time, you're going to have to pay quarterly taxes. Like, you're going to put so many miles on your car. it's not going to be helpful. But as a part-time driver, you're almost like getting tax-free money. That's what I tell people. I mean, I don't know exactly. I'm just saying I rarely pay any taxes on my Uber work, my gig work.
I can only say one thing: get yourself an accountant. That's it.
Yeah. Don't go to H&R Block either.
It's worth the investment.
Yeah. Steve, I gave you a plug earlier in the show. We were talking about what article were we talking about? Oh, Uber and Lyft say drivers not affected by new federal rule on worker classification. We did a terrible job about talking about it. And then we said, go to Steve's show, ridesharerodeo.com, if you want in depth, because we
UberLiftDrivers.com. Yep.
Yeah, because we get bored. So there's a plug for you. So anyways, I think that guy is full of shit. I definitely think it's a little bit of a clickbait article, but why would you continue to drive if you were only actually profiting $14,000? I don't know.
No way. So this next one here. That's right. We got to talk about Gary's apps.
Go to the link in our description. This is Gary's wonderful apps, Middleton Technologies. You got Maximo, which is the light blue, Flex Alert, the orange in the middle, and Driver Utility Helper. All those help you do better gig work, keep you safer on the road, those kind of things. Maximo, you can auto decline, you can auto accept, you can set all these settings. The settings are endless on this. I would really recommend this if you want to make more money. I know Gary likes to focus on being safe on the road, which it is. You don't touch your phone. Like for DoorDash, Drive Utility Helper, for example, they want you have to click decline, and then you have to click Y, and there's like 4 or 5 buttons you have to tap. Well, you're driving down the road. Fuck that shit. Put on auto decline, and Gary's apps does all that for you. You don't even have to do anything. It's great. You can even set a delay if it's a little slow, and you're like, maybe I'll take that. You know what I mean? Or you can have it decline right away, just like boom. I put a little delay on it because sometimes we get slow and we might want to take that order. So.
And more states are putting in rules now that they want to limit how much you touch your phone.
Yeah.
That helps there too.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Jesper, want to explain the next video?
I definitely will. Let me start by saying that I think the whole video seems a little bit clickbaity because I hate how the bottom part of it is a little bit of a duo almost.
I don't know why.
Kind of a stupid video game or whatever. But I hate that. But
I don't think it's clickbaity. I see a lot of creators do that because it like.
I think they probably get paid for it or whatever.
I think it's just something, and I bet there's something psychological, like when you're watching the video and you have other. It's like when women do videos and they're putting their makeup on. I think it's something to do with something. I don't know. Let's
then it should show something other. Anyway, no. Yeah.
You just want to see boobs bouncing? Is that what you want to do? You want to?
I didn't say that,
right.
Megan. It wasn't me.
You mind turning off that recording device? Huh? You want me to turn it off? Yeah. I can't do that. Why is that? Because that's for your security and mine as well. It's not a security issue, it's more of a privacy issue. Depending on the local regulations of the state dashboard and camera. Well, then I have to let you out. You can call for another ride. Because I can't do it. We have to call for another ride. Because we're supposed to cancel the ride if you have a problem with the rate of the camera. I was just asking to have a simple conversation. Well, we were told if there's any problems with them asking about the camera turned off, we supposed to cancel the ride. So I've already canceled it. You didn't get charged. You're a dick, man. People have places to go from point A to point B. And you think that you're not going to get a call from corporate about this one? Go ahead. I mean, it's your prerogative. What you like to do back and forth? No, this is your prerogative. You can do what you need to do. The power is in the hands of the consumer. Well, this camera's supposed to protect us both, not just one person.
So, apart from the fact that he was pretty quick to let him out.
Yeah, he didn't want to have a conversation.
No, he didn't. I mean, I thought he was fine about it.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right, Mark. Power is in the hands of the consumer. What a Karen statement. You're correct. I mean, yeah.
And he's going to call corporate. Okay.
I can see myself definitely do the same. No, I'm not shutting off the camera. You can get the hell out.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I've had to do that one time. Someone did not like the camera. I said, "I'm sorry, I'm not turning it off." He's like, "All right, well, I'm not going to ride with you." I'm like, "That's cool. No offense. Like I'm not mad, but I'm just find another ride." I mean, like what are you worried about? It's not like people upload that stuff to YouTube.
And what he was saying is he's worried about the whole, security part. People don't understand the whole one party, two party consent thing. Nobody understands that.
Well, it's different for each state, right?
Right.
So you do have to be careful a little bit. Like some states require you having a little note or sticker on the window that says video and audio recording. The guy was just kind of a dick about it. Like he expected that driver to be like, "Okay, I'll turn it off." So then he stared at him. I would have stared him right back down. I definitely wouldn't have just that guy would have. As soon as I heard that tone change, I want to keep my eyeballs on him. Like after I cancel it, I would just turn back and look at him. Obviously, if I was driving, I wouldn't do that. But I'd be like, "All right, what are we doing here?"
Right.
Yep. It's my car. What are you going to do? Just not get out, which we've seen before too.
So the driven dad says in Colorado it's one party, and it is in Michigan too.
Yeah.
And to anybody who don't know what it means, a one party state means that no matter what, as long as one of the parties in the car agrees to the recording, it's fine. And you as the driver, if you agree to the recording of the conversation or of what's going on, then you are the party, and then it's totally fine.
Which is such a scam, by the way.
Well, yeah,
because it's the driver that's doing it,
Right. The only thing where it can never become a problem is if your passenger is on the phone with somebody else, and there's a chance that a party on the other side of the phone can be recorded too. Then you should technically shut it off.
Yeah.
But it's never going to happen.
No.
Right?
No.
So, anyways. Yeah, I think he handled it pretty well.
So moving on, it says I tip $5 for delivery from a store a mile away. That's, of course, from our lovely Reddit. So this is the message for that delivery. Hi, it's B. I just picked up your DoorDash order, and I'm on the way. If you have liquor, bring your ID. With gas climbing to $5 a gallon, the best thank you is a tip. Keep in mind, I'm driving 14 miles round trip to make your delivery today. See you soon. Customer, please do not do this. This is a recycled message you sent to me before. Also, gas is $3, and it wasn't a 14-mile round trip. Would have tipped more if you didn't put guilt trip. Thanks, though. Next conversation. What is wrong? This thing is... Oh, here we go. Hey, Mr. Sourpuss, you can always go get your own stuff. Do not text me again. You're harassing me. That's what the driver said. You're right, I could, but you're being paid for it, so what's the problem? You texted me. How am I harassing you? All right, well, you can deal with support. Thanks. I'm like, that is so strange. Like, why would you? Yeah, and what a scam.
I hate the guilt trip, yes.
I do too. It's like, especially if you tipped well. It's fucking bullshit. Bud Soda, I hate the guilt trip BS. I've never had none of this shit's ever happened to me. Like, I guess I don't order a lot of food from food delivery, but gal, I want that to happen to me.
I always feel weird even when I ask for more for long rides.
It's awkward. I mean, you kind of got to get up the courage to do it. You know what I mean? You're kind of just like, you got to be like, well, whatever, just fucking do it, like ripping a Band-Aid off.
But the one time I did it, and last time I rode to Chicago, I'm happy I did it. I mean, honestly, I should have asked for 300 because I think it would have done it.
Yeah, I mean, you some people are like, money isn't an object. They're just like, or they understand the value of what you're doing. You know what I mean?
In this time here, it actually, I think it was the latter. He understood the value of me driving him to Chicago at the time. Him and his family.
Well, yeah. I mean, you get a personal driver. You don't have to take, you don't have to get on a plane or a train or a bus, but.
So, I mean, it didn't help that I dropped him off at one of the nicer hotels downtown Chicago.
Right.
I mean, he didn't care.
Okay, moving on. This one. That's yours, Jesper.
So yeah, I was just pulling up. So James, this is This is DoorDash. I'm just letting you know that there's a train blocking the road and it stopped. It's not moving, so I cannot deliver your food directly to your home. I will leave it next to the train tracks. That's the best I can do. If you have any questions, give it to our national call center. Sorry about the inconvenience.
Yeah, so there's a
he left it next to the train tracks.
I don't even know. I don't even think I could do that. I don't know what I would do.
Why not figure out how to go around it?
No, why don't you just wait? Like, it can't be. There's a legal length a train can be, and I don't know what it is, but it can't be more than 10 or 15 minutes.
Well, that's the thing. That there has been some downtown Grand Rapids has been about 10, 15 minutes.
The problem,
absolutely.
he just wanted to move on to another delivery. He didn't.
Absolutely.
He didn't want to wait. I would have just waited. I would have let them know, like, hey, I'm stuck by a train. It's gonna be 15 minutes. Like, just so
it's
they
a McDonald's order.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's so crazy. I don't know. I think I would just. I don't think I would have tried to find a way across because the train's long. You're gonna have to go 10 miles one way to freaking get across.
Right, that is true as well.
God dang it. Moving on. Let's see. What are we at?
It's the story about Drizzly.
Oh yes. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious why Uber bought Drizzly, right?
Oh yeah.
So they bought him for $1.1 billion, which is fucking insane, by the way. The people that own Drizzly, like, how great for them. But they're closing it down after 3 years. The Drizzly business and brand will shut down at the end. Was at the end of March, according to the Uber email. Uber will apply what it has learned from Drizzly's experience to Uber Eats efforts in the alcoholic beverage delivery category.
Read Uber took all the sellers on Drizzly, added them to Uber Eats, and that's what they did.
Well, yeah, I mean, everyone's so upset about it, but why do you think they bought it? They just wanted their customers.
They wanted the platform.
Well, and that too, and they probably studied it and learned things about it. But yeah, they're not there to do anything else but that. You know what I mean? It's not a big shock to me.
And then, I mean, they really like it. It sounds like an astronomical number, right? But I'm sure they bought other things and they just waste.
Well, that's the problem. The problem is with this monopoly. That's why I'm even though Lyft sucks dick, I'm glad they're still around because a monopoly is a scary thing. You know, the government tries to prevent that from happening. Which is weird, though, because I only can get consumers' energy. I can't get anyone else, or I only can get DTE for gas. But anyways.
So technically, I think you can get others, but they just have to use DTE's wires.
Yeah, that's true. But they're all usually more expensive, so it's kind of a monopoly because...
Yeah. Also known as bullshit.
Yeah, but it's just when Uber has like unlimited cash, you just worry a little bit. But no, I mean, I'm glad Drizzly got paid good. I hope they build something else. But so it says weirdly, Drizzly is the consumer app. Yeah, they just wanted the data, they wanted the customers. That's all they did. So now if you want to use Drizzly, you got to go to Uber Eats. That's as simple as that.
Well, it's not shut down yet. April 1st.
Yeah,
April 31st.
What do you think the amount of customers they will lose? 40%? No, not even.
They're gonna jump over to Uber Eats.
You think? I mean, they're gonna take some loss, right? 20%?
Maybe a little bit. But
yeah, it's still worth it for them.
I mean, the people who are gonna buy alcohol after hours, they're still gonna buy alcohol after hours.
I often wonder though, like I feel like all these services were better before they went to Uber Eats, which you can probably agree with. And the service is going to decline. You know what I mean? You're just not going to have well, I mean, if someone's just driving for Drizzly, right? You're just picking up the beer and you're just going. But Uber Eats, you got all this other shit. You're going to end up getting a food delivery with the Drizzly. So you're going to drop the food, I don't know. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Have you ever been to Total Wine yet?
I have I think it was Uber Eats. It's insane.
That's a crazy store.
It is crazy. It's very cool in there, though. I don't know. Like, I'm not a big drinker, but
I went in there for myself. It was bad for me.
Yeah. Did you pick up some booze?
Oh man, lots of booze.
You can pretty much get anything you want in there, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Even stuff from other countries, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, they have all kinds of stuff. It was great.
Speaking of Ubering, Octopus tablet. If you do not have this tablet, you need to get it if you're a
I
rideshare
don't
driver.
have it.
If you just do food delivery, this message is not for you. Yeah, the tablet you get from Octopus, they send it to you, charger, all that stuff. You can earn up to about $100 a month. They give away money all the time. They play games. It's a great driver-focused company. I know a lot of companies out there, like Moose Financial, and they're shutting down. They were great too. Yeah. Jesper's doing the Stevie Wonder because he thought the logo was up. But anyways, check it out. The link is in the description if you want to make extra money. It's easy. Your passengers love it. They get to play trivia, all that stuff, and then Octopus shares some of the revenue from the ads in there. So check it out. What did he say? Postmates sponsored an ad in both Google and Apple stores when you typed in food fetched. That's a weird thing to search. Traveler, people play enough games in my car. Yeah, but you might as well get paid extra for it, Traveler.
Yeah. They
Download
loved it. They loved it when I had it.
Yeah, download that shit. Or download it. Order that
It's
shit.
worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Next. Did we talk about this before?
Well, so we kind of did. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. We were kind of last week. We were talking about the matching. We kind of were touching on this article a little bit because we were talking about the other part of it, where Tesla was selling a bunch of cars because Hertz had kind of selling all these out. Tesla was trying to get rid of a bunch of cars because Hertz wasn't buying all the cars that they promised they were buying, something like that. So anyways, long story short, Hertz is selling all these 20,000 EVs. They're promised to buy 100,000 EVs, and now they're not, and they're replacing them with gas cars again, and which we talked about last week because they are too expensive to fix.
Yeah, you got all this super technology in there.
Yes. And I saw somebody who bought a Tesla and threw a gas engine in it, and it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, we just talked about, I swear, we talked about it last week.
We did.
Why is this the same article? If I go back,
No,
is this the same article?
It's not the same article. It's kind of a matching article.
Okay. Well, on that note, everyone's been shitting. Like, did you see that? Did you watch a news article in Chicago? Everyone like having dead Teslas. Did you see that?
Yeah, because they're too cold.
I don't understand that. How can they be too cold? I guess I don't understand. My car is fine. Did I reduce a lot of range? Oh, heavens, yes. It's half of what it normally is. But they were saying they had a bunch of dead Teslas. Unless they were waiting to charge. I didn't even watch it because it seems like clickbait.
Well, you gotta keep them a little bit warm, right? You gotta keep them a little bit.
But they'll still run.
Well, yeah, but yes.
I mean, mine will be in the garage tonight, not plugged in. It'll still start in the morning. I don't know. I guess I don't.
But what if it stay outside?
It would still I mean, I don't know. I don't know why it wouldn't.
I don't know either. I mean, I know that Norway has predominantly Teslas because Tesla's doing the best in cold weather.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know
all
why.
The EVs.
I think the whole story. Driven dads because they're dumb drivers. I'm thinking they are dumb drivers. Thank you. I don't understand that. Yeah, like
it's because they're dumb drivers.
They are dumb. Like what is going on that there's a bunch of dead and why is Tesla getting this shit? I just don't understand it.
All I want is for them to actually come up with a battery that lasts much longer and they can charge in 10 seconds. That's what I want. Is that such a big problem? I mean, why can't I just have that?
You're going to get a longer range one in the next couple of years, but it ain't going to charge in 10 seconds.
It's longer, all right. I'll tell you, it's longer. Yeah, you can't find the button.
I couldn't find it. I don't know. I have had no problem. I mean, is my EV eating the battery when I'm driving? Yeah, it is. Like when I get done with my bus route and I go to start it up, like it's using like 17 kilowatts because I got the heat cranked. You know what I mean? And then once it gets warm, it slows down. But oh man, 400 range. Yeah, Toyota's making one that's supposed to have 750 miles. So that's pretty incredible.
That is, they need to solve that battery, the fuel cell. That's what they need to solve.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so this quick video on a Charlotte couple believes DoorDash driver stole their dog, which doesn't surprise me because most DoorDash drivers are fucking assholes.
Stealing dogs left and right.
Answers after they say a DoorDash driver stole their dog right out of their front yard. They've tried contacting police and the company, but so far, no luck. Our Jason Bucket is live at the house where this happened
Jason.
with more on the story. Jason.
When Sean and Charisse first came out Friday night and noticed that the severe storms had knocked over this portion of their fence and that their dog was loose, they did what anyone might in that circumstance. They started searching the neighborhood and printing up flyers to put out. But when they searched their security camera, they saw something terrifying.
Our backyard is normally enclosed, but with the storm on Friday, we just had no idea that our fence had fallen.
Around 11:30 p.m. Friday night, Charisse Thomas' husband, Sean, had let their dog Blue out before bed, but he didn't come back when called.
I went outside to walk the whole yard and saw the fence was down.
He's got a nice voice.
And my daughter started crying.
Sean immediately hopped in his car and drove the whole neighborhood calling for Blue. Meanwhile, his wife looked at their security footage and saw this. There's Blue in the front yard. Then this car pulls up next to him. You can see from a neighbor's camera, the lights inside the car turn on. And when that car left, Blue wasn't in the yard anymore. Their neighbors didn't want to speak on camera, but they told us that they ordered DoorDash and that the driver had asked them if the dog was theirs. They said no, that it belonged to Charisse and Sean. Then that video happened.
It's rough. It's hard to, how do you hold that in? And my daughter's crying every day, all day, every day, since Friday night.
Saturday morning, they reached out to DoorDash and CMPD.
They have everything on camera. Called DoorDash. It happened Friday. It's now Monday.
CMPD did come gather the footage, but so far, no leads. Right now, the family just wants one thing.
I want my dog back. I mean, getting another dog is not the answer. Everybody says, oh, just get another dog.
Okay, enough of that. First of all, did you watch that? Did you see that video? Where the fuck was the dog? That's the grainiest shit. You ain't proving shit off that video.
It's a good looking dog though.
I mean, it's a great looking dog. I'm not blaming the DoorDash driver.
You don't think he did it?
I don't think he did it. I mean, you can't prove that he did it.
I don't know. I mean, I couldn't see enough of that.
Yeah.
That camera. It was too distorted.
Yeah,
But-
and maybe he did do it. I don't know. I'm not saying. I'm just kind of joking around too. But I just think that is terrible if he did do it.
Oh, yeah.
And that video is terrible, and he's never going to get prosecuted because I don't see shit. But I don't understand why people are like that.
No.
All right, last
I
video.
wanna put him up against the wall and shoot him if he did do it.
Oh wow. Well, I don't think he needs to be shot, Jesper. That's a little.
He stole a dog.
I know, but jeez.
Anyways, this last one here is kind of interesting. This is well, you can play the video if you have the video. Do you have the video?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll play the whole thing, but
Okay. So it's about one of the many well, I guess maybe not so many yet, but it's one of the companies with some of the city scooters, and one of the city scooter companies that stopped operating in Akron, Ohio, that then got rid of all those scooters to a local company, and the local company is refurbishing them and now selling all those scooters. They got 8,000 scooters donated and is now doing the best they can to get those back in the hands of people.
This pile of broken electric scooters seems never ending.
Sometimes I just think, what did I get myself into?
Ben Baker took on the slew of spin scooters in August. About 8,000 of them were headed straight for the landfill.
We got these for recycling from a company called Spin. They had upgraded their scooters, and these were actually all gathering up in their Cleveland warehouse from all over the country.
Mounds upon mounds sit outside Ben's electronic recycling company, Summit E-Waste.
We get the occasional person stopping by and wondering what's going on with them.
They're also stored in buses. But wait, there's more. I'm in the basement of Summit E-Waste, and piles of hundreds of scooters are all around me. Ben says he actually checked with the fire inspector to make sure these piles were safe. The inspector said as long as these scooters weren't plugged in, it should be okay.
Why keep these out of the landfill?
Well, they have lithium batteries in them, every one of them, large lithium battery packs down here in the bottom, which you don't want that in the landfill seeping into the water.
This warehouse on Lakeside Avenue in Cleveland is where those scooters were stored, according to Spin. The company says it no longer operates in Cleveland. It expects Summit E-Waste will responsibly recycle the scooters. A task Summit E-Waste thinks will take the team years to complete.
It took a long time to figure out how they function and how to get them running. It took me hundreds of man hours.
One by one, each defunct scooter gets rolling again. The tedious job includes replacing the circuit board and software system.
You've got to connect to it. There we go. They have a top speed of 22 miles an hour, and they're controllable with a smartphone. So if you do have younger teenagers who are riding them and you don't want them to go 22 miles an hour, you can limit the speed and they're unable to change it themselves. You can turn the headlight on and off.
Operated right off your smartphone, Ben says people are already buying the scooters. From trash to travel, Ben's goal is to give all 8,000.
So that's kind of cool. I mean, he's doing a good thing with recycling, but making a business out of it too.
So I actually downloaded the folder, the brochure.
Yeah.
And I called and talked to him this morning.
Why?
Because I want to buy one.
No way.
I do. No, it's the truth. It's the truth.
Oh,
but
really? You didn't tell me that before the show.
I know, because why not? So he's selling them for $200, which is a steal.
That's a fair price.
It's a very fair price.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. But he's not shipping them yet.
Okay.
Because there's so few people doing it, and this article has gone viral like crazy. So his interest in it has gone so crazy. So he's so far only supporting the local area of Akron. So he doesn't know yet how to ship him, but he's hoping to start shipping in the spring.
Okay, so I was interested in the app, the technology. Does he have like some software
yes,
behind it?
It's all set up. He puts a new control board in all of them.
Okay.
And so you have to download an app and everything like that. Yep. So, but you can't, there won't be any new battery or any extra batteries or anything in it. It's all going to be one battery. It's all going to be in it.
You can't swap the battery out or anything? So once it's dead, it's dead?
Well, you can probably put a new one in. But
is he putting new batteries in there?
No.
It's the old.
Whatever's in this come with, yes.
Oh, okay. Well, it's still good, though, that he's not. I mean, good for him. And he probably got them all for free.
Absolutely.
I mean, better than
but he puts man hours into them, and he puts some hard, because he has to, as you saw, he has to put a new motherboard in all of them.
Yeah, every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's super cool. I'm glad. I'm kind of a recycling nerd, especially with that kind of stuff. And I
as you can see, I downloaded the pamphlet here.
That's so cool.
Printed it out, and if anybody else is interested, you can contact Drew at 330-495-1589.
We should get him on the show.
And it's a real information.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
He takes cash, credit card, and Venmo.
Okay. All right.
But he doesn't ship yet.
He doesn't ship. Yeah, that's gonna be pricey to ship.
I mean, but it's not. I mean, it's Akron, Ohio, so it's not that far.
It's Akron, by the way.
Akron, whatever.
No, I'm just saying. You said it once, and then I didn't say anything. You said it twice. I didn't say anything. I had to correct you.
How far is Akron, Ohio? Anyway,
it's not very far. A couple hundred miles.
So maybe we take a day trip. We want to go pick up a couple.
Well, there you go, and we'll sell them. I'm sure those things fold down, right? The handles probably fold down.
Yeah.
So the shipping might not be horrible then. I mean, it'll be a little heavy.
No, but we can probably pick up. I bet we can pick like 10, 15, 20 up, and then just sell them locally here.
Yeah. Make a profit.
$50 to $100 a profit.
You think someone's going to buy that for $250 a used scooter?
Listen. We paid $750 for the one on Maxwell, and that's not nearly as good as this one.
Really?
Oh yeah, this is approved for $300 payload. It's a 22 miles per hour scooter. This is a good quality scooter.
Wow. Well, they have to be good to use like lime and stuff. They got to be able to be abused.
Exactly. They have to be able to take a beating.
Huh. Interesting.
But obviously, there's no warranty and no nothing on.
Well, yeah. It's we'll just sell them on Facebook Marketplace.
Right, $225. Just go get them.
$225 now, $250. So we each get $25.
I mean, we could probably at least put 50 to 100 of those in the back of our car.
No, not my car. Maybe your van.
No.
Well, guys,
Okay.
we're going to wrap her up. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching the show. Go to
Good show.
gigeconomyshow.com for all your gig economy needs. And we'll see you next week. Have a good night.
We'll see you on the road.
Oh, shit. We fucked up. God damn it.
No, you didn't say
Yeah,
anything.
you're right. You're right. And as always, guys, don't put up with anyone's bullshit.
And we will see you on the road.
Good night.
Good night.
This podcast is produced and edited by Hey Guys Media Group. Want to start a podcast? Check out heyguysmediagroup.com. Why do I randomly forget that?
I don't know.
It's so strange.
You're like trying to say something. I'm waiting for you.
Yeah,
waiting
you're like,
for you.
come on, asshole. You're the one that's got to lead.
And I'm like, and we'll see you on the road.
I know. That's what
Oh,
triggered
shit.
it. That's what triggered it. Hey, vey.
Hi, Vay.